Hello. Have you ever fallen in love with a place you just happened to visit? Oh, wait, I was told not to ask the audience any questions. Patrick told me that. Sorry. Anyway, I have. It's a town called Kesennuma. Kesennuma is located about 4 or 5 hours from Tokyo. You get on the Tohoku Shinkansen to Ichinoseki, and you get on a local line called and you go through valleys and mountains, and you go really far. That's how it felt. And finally, you get through a really long tunnel, and when you pass through the tunnel, suddenly your vista opens up, and this is what you see. This is Kesennuma. And Kesennuma has 70,000 people. It's a very small town. But what really shocked me when I got there is that the people there are really global. So in their daily conversations, you hear things like, oh, I went around Cape Town to Las Palmas. Or, oh, yeah, we're talking about Suez Canal. And of course, that makes sense because Kesennuma is a place that deals in long-distance fishing. And so the fishermen go onto the other side of the world and pursue a fish. It's that kind of town. So we're here right now in Shibuya, but if you're a guy, an old man in Kesennuma, he'd be like, oh, Shibuya, it's so scary, I've never been there. But he'd be like, oh, Hawaii, I've been there loads of times, by boat. But that's the kind of town it is. And so it's really interesting because the people in Kesennuma are really that global. That's why I fell in love with it. But there was something grave that happened in Kesennuma. In 2011, during the Great Eastern Earthquake, they were hit by the tsunami. So, of course, they have loads of boats there because it's Kesennuma. But such boats this great were sent to shore, and many buildings were washed away. So a lot of people in Kesennuma lost their jobs. And if you don't have a job, what happens? You realize a job isn't just for money. That's what they really felt. You don't have money. What's difficult about you don't have a job. What's difficult about that is you lose your own dignity. Because you want to do good for someone else and help others, and you want to feel good through that, but you lose that kind of dignity. So I wanted to create jobs in Kesennuma that people could take pride in. And it had to be something that had a proper business model that would work and contribute to the local economy continually. So that's the kind of job I wanted to create, and that's why I started this company called Kesennuma Knitting. So what we do here is, you can probably tell from the name, but it's a knitting company. Oh, sorry. Oops. Sorry. Okay, it's a knitting company. And so we have knitters from Kesennuma, and they make sweaters and cardigans and send them to our customers. And when I talk about this, people are like, well, why knitting? But it's actually quite simple. Okay, sit here. So because it's a port town, the fishermen and their wives, they fix their fishing nets. They're quite skilled knitters. Also, these days they usually wear down or fleece and such, but they used to wear fishermen's sweaters, and so the women used to knit these sweaters. A lot of people used to knit. So knitting was something that was extremely familiar to them. So we thought, okay, let's make that your job. But how many of you here have actually knit before? Do you know how long it takes to finish one sweater or one cardigan? Oh, sorry, Patrick's going to get angry at me again. He told me not to ask you questions. So it depends on the item, but on average, a regular fisherman's sweater takes over 50 hours to make. So if you want to make this a business, how much does one need to be in order to be able to pay the knitters a decent wage? Because you can't cheap out there. So it's 150,000 yen. Let's make a cardigan that we can sell for 150,000 yen. That's what we thought. It's quite the idea, isn't it? So we have to make the best thing out there. So, we can't just make it expensive just because it took a long time to knit. So that's why we thought, okay, let's start with making the yarn. We want to make the best cardigan. We want to use the best yarn. So we collected the materials from around the world, wool from around the world, and of course design is important too. So we got a very popular designer to design a piece for us. And of course we need the technique. So just because you're knitting your family sweater doesn't make you a professional, so we practiced.
そうやって最初の商品ができました。
And that's how our first product came to be.
これは私が描いた下手くそな
This is, I'm sorry, I drew this unfortunate picture. But anyway, our first product was ready. So, in the beginning, we had only 4 knitters in our company, so we were only able to make 4 sweaters. They were order made. So we wondered, okay, how many people want these 4 cardigans? And we wondered, do we have enough customers? Are we going to get any? But we got over 100 inquiries. So we've been sending out the word like this, and every time we put out word saying, hey, who wants some, we do get more people asking for more, so we actually sell them by lottery as well. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to ask you another question again, but do you have any clothes at home that you actually want to wear for your entire life? How many pieces of clothing do you have like that? Or any pieces of clothing that you actually want to pass down to your children? Or any clothing that you've actually been passed down from your parents? You might think of a kimono. But how about, so in Japan, we pass down kimono. But is there anything other than kimono that you would pass down? There's a customer that ordered this product from Kesennuma Knitting, and she said she opened her closet and she realized there was nothing she wanted to pass down to her child, so she wanted to order this piece from Kesennuma Knitting. Would another customer say this? It's like we have a relative in Kesennuma. This person makes me a sweater, and then if I feel happy, I'll report it to that person, and if I have to have a business trip to Tohoku, I will go visit her. So this family actually lives abroad, but every time they come back to Japan, they go, the whole family goes and visits Kesennuma. So Kesennuma Knitting, we're very, very small, but we really have a very strong connection with our customers. And what's happening to us now? So we started with 4 knitters, but now we have over 30. And we started out with just 1 design, but we have more now. And we actually became incorporated, and we finished our first fiscal year, and we were able to turn over a profit. So I told the knitters, because you worked so hard to make these, we turned a profit. And now we will be able to actually pay taxes to the town of Kesennuma. And they were so thrilled. They said, oh, this is great. So we can walk down the streets of Kesennuma with our heads held high. I mean, it was the best moment of my life. So anyway, that's what's happening right now with Kesennuma Knitting. So, I've talked all about this company, but I haven't shown you the sweater. Sorry, I've only shown you my horrible picture that I drew. Would you like to see one? You would? You'd like to see them? Okay, Ms. Endo, Ms. Oyama, please join me on the stage. They're actually here from Kesennuma today. They're our knitters. So what they are actually wearing now, these are the sweaters and cardigans that they are knitting. So Kesennuma Knitting, I created this so that I could create jobs in Kesennuma that people could be proud of. That's how the business started. But I hope there are more and more projects like this. Of course in Tohoku, but all around Japan and in towns all around the world. I think every town carries its own problems, but at the same time, every town also has its own possibilities. So I hope that there are many, many people that take these possibilities and make them realities.
You can make a difference.
You can make a difference. Thank you.
ありがとうございます。